Okay, good students of AP Bio. This is usually done in the classroom and usually have some time to answer some questions, but I think I'll try to answer as much as I can here. You guys are going to be registering for classes next year, and we're going to be looking at different options for you. Usually the question that comes up is, which chemistry should I take, AP, HP, or Reg Chem? And the answer kind of depends on each student, but I'll try to give you as much information as I can to help you make an informed decision. I usually have former students come in and speak actually to my classrooms that are in AP or HP Chem at the moment, and that's usually pretty helpful, but I'll try to give my insight here as best I can. So, 3 choices for chemistry next year. You have AP Chem, it's an AP course. There's summer homework, and it's basically to complete the Reg Chemistry curriculum. This is Reg Bio, sorry. Reg Chemistry curriculum, and then pick up from there. So basically, you do the Reg Chem stuff, and then he does not revisit topics with more depth. So you're supposed to learn stoichiometry and balancing things and valence electrons and et cetera on your own. He's expecting that first week that he can just go ahead and start out on like chapter 7 of the book and just keep moving on. He is not expecting that any student has skipped doing their work. So if you find yourself to be a person who's kind of tired of this online stuff, or you have reached a point where you realize that that summer stuff is just not for me, then maybe AP Chem is not a great choice right now. More information on that later. HP Chem is much like the Reg Chem class, but with more labs, and they try to do a few more topics than Reg Chem. Typically covers about 7 extra chapters over the course of the year, so it's about 2 per trimester that they try to cover to kind of speed up the pace there. So they try to do a couple more chapters and maybe 1 or 2 more labs than Reg Chem does. It's basically the same class as Reg Chem, just with a little tiny bit more. Reg Chem is a very solid foundational class of chemistry. I have, many of you are, you don't have the history here. I've taught in our school for 23 years. I have taught HP Chem at our school, and I have taught Reg Chem at our school. They're both very solid classes for future use in science. So here's some stuff on AP Chem, which is usually the big question that students want to know. It's a very organized, very rigorous, and independently driven class. You have to attend class, but more importantly, you will be asked to there's plenty of times where Jack, who's the teacher, will say, all right, your job is to read the lab in chapter whatever by Wednesday. Ask me questions on it, and then on Wednesday we're doing a lab related to that thing. And he just expects that you have understood it. It is a lot of independent work on that level. And he will do a great job of trying to explain it to you, but he does not have the time to cover every single piece of the labs, of the activities in class time. And so a lot of it is going to have to be on you to kind of go back and go, okay, why did that work that way? Or what are we doing in this lab coming up here? What is this topic about? And so that has been the main complaint and description, I guess both sides of the story there, of students in AP Chem. Some students really like this. They really, really like the organization level. Jack is extremely organized. They really like the fact that, okay, it's Tuesday of this week. You open up the folder for Tuesday and you have your whole thing laid out for you, and it's your job to do that stuff. And so it's a lot of independent work. And for some students, that's very, very fulfilling. For others, it's very, very frustrating because they will feel a little bit left on their own, and truly they are. It's one of the more difficult AP classes out there. It has about a 50% pass rate at Maple Grove Senior High, and it's about 55% nationally each year. So it is a very, very tough course to not only cover, but to pass at the end of the year. Jack has communicated with me today, actually, that his average score is somewhere in the 2s. Most students do not pass the course. As you can tell, 50% of them do pass and about 50% of them do not. So overwhelmingly, a lot of students get 2s and are approaching that 3, but it's a really, really tough test. So you may take this class, work your way through it all year, and still have a 50-50 shot of passing that test nationally. So it may not work out as you would wanted it to. It is recommended for students intent on pursuing chemistry, pharmacology, pre-med pathways. But I will also state with no hesitation whatsoever, because I have taught HP Chem and because I have taught regular Chem, over the last 23 years, I have literally dozens of students that are in those fields: pharmacology, chemistry, chemical engineering. They're PAs, they're doctors even. they never took AP Chem. They never needed to take AP Chem. They just took Reg Chem. Some of them took Reg Chem, some of them took HP Chem. Their schedules were just too busy and they just took a regular chemistry class and then just moved on. Those classes, Reg Chem and HP Chem, will give you good foundations for a college course in chemistry, which you're going to have to take no matter what if you go into these fields. So if you go into chemistry, the U of M is not going to turn around and go, oh, you got a 4 in your chemistry test. We're just going to, skip your entire freshman year of chemistry. Nope, you're going to have to take their chemistry anyway. So understand that HP Chem and Reg Chem are going to be great foundations for that too. So some thoughts and some considerations, things that always come up. So first of all, AP courses are not offered at every school across the nation. Students worry about the fact that, well, I took AP Bio and now I'm dropping down to like HP Chem or Reg Chem. Doesn't that look like I'm, choosing an easier path here? That's not uncommon. Sometimes there just isn't an AP Chem class, and colleges don't know that, nor do they care. So ultimately, they don't care that you didn't take AP Chem. They're not going to, it's not, raising red flags and saying, oh, this kid decided to drop down. So don't perceive it that way. The other thing that I would ask you to consider is, are you prepared to earn a college grade? If you are sitting in a college classroom of chemistry and you get a B or a B plus in that college chemistry class, that's a pretty solid grade. For many of you, you are intent on maintaining an A GPA. And the reality is that when you get into those college classrooms, B's and C's are not uncommon among really talented and bright students. So are you ready to manage that? That is one of the concerns, complaints, many tearful conversations have been had in my classroom from former AP Bio students taking AP Chem, and they're just cruising along at a B and they cannot get themselves up to an A, and it is just so upsetting to them. And again, the reminder is, sometimes a challenge means you're willing to put in with less than an elite performance here. Many of you, school has come pretty easily to you, and AP Chem is a very, very challenging course. And you have to accept that and know that, I might get a B in this class, and I'm going to be proud of that. So, I give an example here that I want to run a 5K this summer, but I'll tell you what, I'll be walking a lot of it, but I'll do it. But I'll be proud of my efforts, not of the, I'm not going to be posting my scores or telling everybody about it. So, also, junior year offers a lot of challenges in a typical setting. In a typical year, junior year is overwhelmingly seen as the most difficult year. There's all kinds of different things going on junior year. Classes become really, really tough for English. Expectations for your social studies credits and your math credits really, really pick up. So a lot of folks really struggle through junior year. I would ask you to ask yourself what kind of additional burden you want to put on yourself. If you're taking 3 AP classes and you want to add AP Chem to this is a really, really tough load. We've seen it historically over and over and over again. So I speak from experience, and I'm saying that if you want to take AP Chem, then focus on the AP Chem. If you're not really sure, then don't take AP Chem. There's no shame in that. HP Chem is a great choice for all of my AP Bio students. I will fully support you in saying, yep, HP Chem is where I'm going to go. There's no shame, disadvantage to it. AP is a solid course for some of my AP Bio students. Some of you are very type A, very organized, very meticulous, and AP Chem can fit pretty well. But others of you, you're not so independent. You're not so reliant on organization. You need more of a personal touch. You need more of a, hey, can you sit down and explain this to me? And for that reason, AP Chem may be too much of a challenge for you at this point in your academic career. Please hear that clearly. I'm not saying that you're not intelligent or capable enough to handle chemistry. It is, at this point in your academic career, it may be a challenge that is poorly timed. So, in a typical year, I go from about 140 AP Bio students that are enrolled in my courses, somewhere around there. And then the following year, about 60 of those students end up taking AP Chem. So kind of gives you an idea. We do have, well over half of my students typically make the HP Chem choice. And I can say there's been a few times when students have come back and said, I wish I would have taken AP Chem. But there's been a lot of times when I've had students come back and they're in AP and they're saying, I wish I would have taken HP. It would have made my schedules easier, would have made my homework easier, would have made my life easier. So just something to consider. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully that's informative for you or your parents as you are trying to make these decisions. And I wish I had more personal experience with some of you in the classroom so that I could answer your questions. But feel free to reach out if you can and offer some thoughts there. So there you go.